Good morning, everybody, and it is Thursday. Once again, we're back to our normal format. We're back to our normal day, our normal time. This is the Going Broadway Podcast. Alex and Cole with you, as always. Cole, what's happening?
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the greatest wrestling podcast ever. It feels like it's been a really long time since we've been on because of last week and all the weather and yada, yada, yada. But I do want to just take a quick moment real quick because I saw something in the chat and I want to give a shout out.
Take a moment.
Jay Stoney, congrats on your first wrestling match this past weekend. Hopefully that went well for you. Shoot us a message, private message. Let us know how it went. Would love to hear if you're a heel or a face.
Or share on the chat
all that
if you're
stuff.
comfortable.
So congrats to you, my guy. But other than that, I'm ready. We got a ton to talk about.
And real quick, just to kind of piggyback off that, we're going to continue to, as much as possible, plug the fact that you need to go check out your independent local wrestling promotions. I can't stress that enough. You might be seeing the next star. You might be watching the next five-star match. Five-star match. Opinions are subjective, but nonetheless. No, it feels like it's been a while because last week we had, so it was a Wednesday when we had Marina Shafir on with us. Then the week before was, I guess the week before was that a normal?
Yeah, sure.
So it's really only been 2 weeks since we've had a normal show. It just feels like it's been a while. So nonetheless, yeah, we got lots to talk about. We're going to jump in here in just a second. Let's see who we got on the chat this morning. Billy Ray Milburn, good morning. Joey Carpio, good morning, or maybe good evening to our friends in the Philippines. It's 11 p.m. there. Let's see, Jay Stoney, David Tilley, Bruce Jackson, Stone Cold David, Jeremy Pickering, Steven, just a blanket and a warm good morning to one and all. Okay, so we have an elephant in the room to address.
Let's just do it. Let's do it.
Tony Khan now owns Ring of Honor. Shout out to, I don't know if he's watching, but shout out to Thomas Russell, who actually accurately called it. Lumpy, good morning. Our friend Chris, thanks for joining and hanging out with us. Let's see. I didn't see this coming even with, Thomas accurately calling this because I knew Ring of Honor was not actively or publicly up for sale, but there were rumblings that it was being shopped, so to speak. Even that being said, I didn't think AEW or the Khans would buy it because it's like, okay, you have it, now what do you do with it? Because a lot of the previously contracted talent aren't under contract anymore from what from my understanding. I'm sure there are still some, but anyway, I get the whole the aspect of purchasing the assets, the video library, which is really cool, by the way. I'm excited to see the video library side of it. But at the same time, and I try to give the pros and cons as we kind of analyze things, you can go and watch a lot of matches on Ring of Honor's YouTube channel. So the con is, no pun intended, do all those matches get taken off their YouTube channel, and do we have to, eventually pay to see some of these matches? And I'm kind of conflicted how they go from here. No, I forgot who posted it. I want to say it was like bodyslam.net or something like that, and I don't know if that's 100% accurate. But yeah, and Chris beat me to it that Ring of Honor would essentially become a developmental for AEW, which then leads to, okay, well then what are they going to do with Dark Elevation? Anyway, I could keep going on and tangent and stuff, but your thoughts?
Hate it. Simple as that. I'm not mad that ROH got bought. Understand where I'm coming from. I would have liked if anybody else bought this company. I'm just not confident in Tony Khan's decision making when it comes to this kind of stuff. I think it has potential to be cool. I hope that they can find a way to do something with this. But if Tony Khan is as smart and as a wrestling genius as people make him out to be, when ROH announced their stuff in the get-go, why wouldn't you have bought it then? Why wouldn't you have made the phone call then? When you still had all the talent there, you could have literally not skipped a beat basically with ROH if you would have stepped in and dealt with it when the time goes. Now, I don't know what all goes on in the background with who's got to be involved with what and all that stuff, but most of your ROH talent's now in Impact. They literally are doing a stable called Honor No More.
Yeah.
Because of all the talent that has gone to Impact. It's like a 8-person stable, like with all the talent that has gone to ROH. One of them being Maria Kanellis, who's like an ROH executive. And I don't know if all those executives get to keep their jobs, or does Tony Khan have to start fresh with all that too? I don't know. Here's what I don't want. I don't want ROH to become a developmental.
Agreed.
It's not a developmental company. It was its own thing. It needs to be its own thing. I don't want to see ROH versus AEW. Not interested.
Same here.
But the problem is that you already signed guys that were ROH guys. Brody King, Jay Lethal. I'm sure there's a few others that I could name. But you got a lot of guys that went to Impact. Was it Roxy that signed with WWE? So you just lost your...
She did go to NXT, didn't she?
Mm-hmm. She signed to NXT.
Yeah.
So you lost your babyface women's champion there. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the thought that ROH will become their developmental. And I had this, I mean, as soon as I saw it, my mind directly went to what is Elevation, Dark, all those different things. What are all these if you're going to go buy ROH? Because now all those need to disappear if you're going to use ROH, because you still have way too much talent that's getting used on Dark or on Elevation. But ROH still needs to be star-studded, in my opinion. But I don't want to see Tony Khan continue to sign people.
Here's what needs to happen. You need to not replicate what WWE and Vince did with that whole WCW purchase and the invasion angle. If you really want to make fans happy at large, I'm not saying everyone would. There are probably some that would be like, yeah, Ring of Honor developmental territory, absolutely. Like, most people are going to be your hardcore wrestling, not hardcore matches, but your professional wrestling diehard fans. They're going to want to have Ring of Honor be a standalone brand. Have it be a completely separate show. Sure, you can, say it's owned by All Elite Wrestling or whatever, but still, it needs to be the whole adage or whatever. It still needs to be doing business as Ring of Honor, and it needs to be, for the most part, a separate talent roster. You can have some intermingling here and there, and I actually read that they are, and it's all rumor at this point, the rumor is that they would have main event level AEW talent to kind of help get it going. But again, that also is connected with the rumor that it's just going to be developmental. So it needs to be its own separate entity. It needs to have its own separate show. You can have it, just do what you've been doing. Just, it's under new ownership. Don't change anything about it. I mean, that's just my opinion. You can keep the logos, keep the belts, just keep it simple. Keep it simple. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You bought it, you being Tony Khan, AEW, or whatever, you bought it because of, to this point, what it has meant to professional wrestling fans. Why change it? The business logic doesn't make sense to me if it's going to be developmental.
I hate to use this analogy, but I feel like AEW is the DC to WWE's Marvel. They're always behind, and they're always trying to do the quick thing to play catch up to get to that level.
Yeah,
and it bothers me again. Now that it's a done deal, I'm almost of the mindset of I'm too scared of what you're gonna do with it. Just let it take the libraries. take whatever remaining contracts are there and let it be done. I mean, you let EC3 and Adam Shear and all these guys go and start their own wrestling show or whatever now, so they're not coming back. You let Jonathan Gresham, who's your world title holder at the moment, he's got his own thing going on right now. I'm not saying he won't do things with them, but they're all invested in their own thing now. So who do you bring? I mean, I know the Briscoes. I know Jay Lethal will probably go work it. Like, there'll be other names. I'm sure they'll let some of the OGs with CM Punk and Bryan Danielson and all those guys go down and do some stuff. But it's like, I don't really want to see AEW's version of NXT. I don't really. Yeah. I mean, they already have Dark and they already have Elevation, and I don't watch that junk. It's not entertaining. I'm just being real. I'm sure there's a good match here or there, but it's not intriguing enough to watch. Yeah. I'm just not on board with, and I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't think that was that big of an announcement. I still felt underwhelmed with the announcement because that is not, him buying it is not that big of a deal to me. I feel like if he would have bought it right when it was announced that they were, kind of done running it, that would have been huge. But to wait months to let everybody walk basically at this point, there's no draw for me at this point to watch it. I mean, I know they're doing the super card, and it looks like it's got some good matches on it or whatnot, but I'm just not sold that this is a big move. And in fact, I feel like it could be the thing that might bite them in the butt of like, what are they doing with it? Like, I'm already questioning what they're doing now half the time. Like, I don't understand certain things.
Well, they're definitely going to have to hire some more people to, whether it's developmental or not, you're going to have to hire more people to handle a lot of the backstage, a lot of the creative, because, I mean, you're going to have entirely separate storylines, an entirely separate roster. I don't know percentage-wise how much Tony Khan is hands-on as it relates to the creative compared to others. I know he gets the final say, but I'm under the logic or the mindset that Tony Khan, obviously he has the final say so with anything as far as creative goes. I don't see that being any different with the Ring of Honor side of things, but I'm sure he's also hands-on with the creative as far as AEW goes, throwing out suggestions or saying, how can we make this better? Or how can we improve this or improve that or whatever? He's not going to have time to do all of this for an entirely separate entity. That's just my opinion. And to speak to your point as far as, feeling underwhelmed with the announcement, I can totally see that. I can totally understand that. I think they timed it to where they wanted to have it be. I'll back up a second. If Tony Khan had his way, because I'm sure negotiations started probably day one whenever, they filed for bankruptcy or whatever the stuff went on that said we're going to take the first quarter off. Negotiations probably started day one or soon after. If Tony Khan had his way, he probably would have just said, here's a blank check. Write out a number. I want to announce this, that we're purchasing it like today. So, to be fair, I don't think it's Tony Khan's fault or AEW's fault or whatever.
Right.
There were. I haven't seen the press release. I haven't read it word for word, but supposedly this deal just got done literally yesterday or the day before.
Which he was very clear that he was hoping he'd have it ready by Wednesday.
Yeah.
And so I get all that. I do want to address some questions.
Hold on. I was going to get something real quick, though. I think the timing of the announcement, though, is so they can probably put their stamp on the super card, give it, what's like 4 weeks out or something like that. So I think the timing of it, while we feel it's awkward, on their end, it's probably appropriate timing. So just trying to be fair on all fronts, but again, I can see where you're coming from as far as being underwhelmed with the announcement, because it's not like WWE purchasing WCW. It's not. Our Ring of Honor, A, was not competition to AEW, and B, they weren't even in business for the last 2-3 months. So I get it.
Want to address a couple thoughts that I've seen throughout chats and whatnot. First off, one of the questions that was asked to us was, what would we do to make it separate or different?
Fan mail early.
Because it pertains to this topic, we can go ahead and
that's fine. I'm just messing around.
kind of talk about it. But I want to.
It's a good question.
There's something I want to address that I read rumor of. If I was in Tony Khan's shoes, buying it's not the problem. Figuring out how to run it and run it in a good way is what needs to happen.
What do you do now?
So
I agree.
One, a TV deal would be nice for ROH. So if you can score them a TV deal that's not TBS,
And I was gonna say that I would go entirely separate from Turner Networks. Entirely.
I would try to find somewhere that you can get them on, even if it's local channel news show. You know, one of those kind of old school how ROH used to.
WGN.
Be, you know, but I would get them a TV deal. But there's a name that I would put in charge of this and just trust this person to run it, to keep it as Ring of Honor as possible with the Code of Honor and all those different things. A name that I know he's been in talks with, and it's William Regal.
Ooh.
I would hire William Regal to oversee ROH. I would give him the keys to the company, and I would say, listen, I'm here financially to support you. Whatever you need, I got you. But I know that I can trust your creativeness because I saw what you did over here with NXT. And I would turn ROH into the black and gold NXT that people are missing now, because there is a market still for that.
Oh yeah.
You know, I like the new NXT as well, or if you want to call it 2.0 to not get it confused. I do like it. But if you want to create something special, ROH, a lot of the guys that made NXT what it was were ROH guys. So keep the Code of Honor, keep everything Ring of Honor focused, get it a TV deal, and put William Regal in charge of it, and allow William Regal to build his team around him of those who are going to be on the creative board and backstage producers and all this stuff. If it's Scotty Too Hottie that he brings in, Road Dogg, like all these guys that are out there that are clearly good coaches and good people to have on board. I know Mark Henry would be a really good fit for this, I think, to bring him over and allow him to be a part of this instead of having him be a weird announcer on Rampage. Like,
he hasn't been on Rampage for quite some time, but yeah, he was awkward.
You know, let's get his brain over here because he's that kind of guy. And then let's start to build a roster, whether you're going to move people from AEW over to ROH. Officially, I would say guys like Jay Lethal, Brian Cage, some of these guys you're not using well at all, put them over here because they're going to put on...
Or not using, period.
Right. Put them over here. Tony Nese. Put them all over here. Let's create a star-studded roster with guys you're not going to use. And then let's continue to sign a couple free agents here and there. And don't announce them for AEW. Announce them for ROH. Stop trying to sign to AEW.
Yeah.
Unless it's a big name that makes sense to go to AEW at this point. I would be signing those mid-card level, maybe...
Guys that are going to put on banger of a match that aren't being used.
That are top-level guys that have not gotten that opportunity to be top-level guys. Then once they make it on ROH, it's still not developmental in my opinion. But then once you see what they actually are capable of, now you can have them come over to AEW and feud for a little bit with this or that and work it around. I don't want to see drafts. I don't want to see GMs of each show. I don't want to. It needs to be nothing like WWE in the sense of let it just be ROH. Let it just be AEW. But I would pick everyone. This is where I want to say another thought that someone had suggested our thoughts on if Cody Rhodes is involved in this at all. I hope not. And I don't care if Cody Rhodes goes back to WWE or if this is a ploy and he's still in AEW.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I don't want to see Cody Rhodes run ROH. I'm not interested in it. I'm not intrigued by it. I don't think it's a good move. I think you need to get somebody in there who has that more wrestling, like a William Regal, that real clear-cut wrestling style.
Even a Samoa Joe type guy.
Samoa Joe, but I think I'd like to see Samoa Joe wrestle if he's cleared.
Oh, no, I agree. I'm saying someone like that.
I think Samoa Joe would be a good guy to bring into ROH as a veteran. Don't sign him to AEW. Sign him to ROH. I'll tell you another name that could make ROH very interesting would be Wyndham. Get him signed, get him to come in there, allow him to be the big name that kind of elevates that company on a TV deal and doing some of that stuff. I don't know.
There's so much to unpack just with this topic because just kind of a side thing with, I mentioned acquiring the asset. So AEW can now do things like, and I think I saw Fightful or Sean Ross Sapp tweet this last night. They can have a Ring of Honor toy line now. They can put Ring of Honor guys on their video game. Just the possibilities are, cliches aside, the possibilities are endless with what they could do with this. So I like the purchase from the side of they've got all these assets now and they can, monetize them, do what they want with them. What I don't want to say I don't like it yet because we have no sample size to base it off of. I'm just basing it off rumors, but I don't want it to be developmental. Now, something else I wanted to mention, and what I'm about to bring up, there are two sides to this as well. So the rumor was that, or the rumor that Tony Khan's announcement was going to be related to was a deal with HBO Max. If there is a deal there, you've got your streaming service right there. And I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being the case. But the more important side of this, and this flows really good from what you were just discussing, is I want to say that I'll use the term smokescreen here. AEW, I'm wondering if they somehow, because this is not the first time they've done it, they do it subtly, but or maybe they don't even have their hand in it. I don't know, but there's a rumor that will float out about an announcement or something big coming or something big happening. For this particular instance, the rumor was that they're going to announce a deal with HBO Max. Obviously, it didn't end up being that at all. Now, they could have a deal with HBO Max. Again, if they do, they got their streaming service right there. I still want to stay on this topic as much as possible, but kind of piggybacking off your Cody comments, what if this whole Cody thing is a smokescreen? What if somehow AEW has? I mean, this is a far-fetched possibility, but I want to address it because I've noticed a trend with AEW as far as these smokescreen type things. Could this be a big storyline that Cody does wind back up in AEW, or in some way, shape, or form that this has been all planned, all storyline? It's far-fetched because you would have had to gotten Sports Illustrated involved in it. Like it's more than just the wrestling dirt sheets that have picked up on it. Bleach Report. I mean,
unless they lied to him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why. That's why we use air quotes with smokescreen.
Right.
So it begs the question when Cody said a couple months ago, however long, X amount of time it was, the storyline as it relates to me and turning heel or staying face or whatever is going to be like nothing that's ever been seen. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but it's not going to go in the direction that anybody thinks. Could this just be a spoke on the wheel, so to speak, to get this rolling? Or maybe not even related to Ring of Honor. It could just be entirely separate, but just the smokescreen related thing that AEW's been pretty good at.
My only thing with the Cody stuff is I just don't see the payoff. In my opinion, that's such a big payoff with him and Brandy making and Tony Khan making their official announcements, if you will, of them leaving. If the storyline is anything of Cody coming back saying I actually own all of this and all this stuff, but that kind of goes back to the WCW storylines that I just don't feel like anybody really wants to see. I don't want to see a power struggle between him and Tony Khan. AEW is supposed to be something different.
It's supposed to stand out, yeah.
And I get that there's just some storylines you can't help but to repeat or have similarities to. But at the same time, I don't want to see you do exactly what's been done on the grand scale of things. So you bought ROH. Awesome. don't do what WWE did. Look what they ruined ECW by doing that. They ruined WCW by doing that. It does not have a good track record at all.
We don't need an authority figure type situation. Like if you, with this Ring of Honor, if they do end up having a separate show, I mean, I'm assuming they will. If they don't, then it's like,
Even worse.
But yeah, I'm assuming they're going to have their separate show. I'm assuming they're still going to call it Ring of Honor. So that's just how our conversation is directed towards, is what I'm trying to say. If you want a GM for Ring of Honor, then fine, but it doesn't need to be like a face or heel GM. It just needs to be a de facto GM. They're in charge. They're
William Regal.
In charge. Well, yeah, exactly. They're in charge. They're making matches, whatever. And, you know, again, I'm going back to what I said earlier. Other than that, don't change anything. Keep Ian Riccaboni on commentary. You know, keep, what's their ring announcer? Is it Bobby Cruz, I think is his name? Keep him as their ring announcer. You bought Ring of Honor. If you're AEW, if you're Tony Khan, you bought AEW because, you bought Ring of Honor because people love Ring of Honor. They like it just as it was. Don't change anything. Don't make it developmental. That's the last time saying about it. You can share anything else.
And I think everyone's under the understanding of, I think that the only way this is good is if they actually keep ROH the way it was. And I am nervous that's why I'm not really excited about it. I hope, and this is how I never want to sound like negative, like I'm just, you know, crapping on it, you know.
Yeah.
It has potential to be good. I always say that. I feel like I'm always saying that about AEW, is that these announcements, these things, these signings, they have potential to be good. My last thoughts on this is that if I'm AEW, I'll agree with, I can't remember who I saw, the chat's just blowing up here, that there needs to be mainstays, basically. I agree that Jay Lethal needs to be back in ROH, that the Briscoes need to be there. I would love to see them bring like Santana and Ortiz to ROH where they can get used properly. Would love to see them bring the Varsity Blondes.
We obviously saw a lot of tag teams last night that it's just like, oh yeah, that's right, they're with AEW. They'd be great fits for Ring of Honor.
Private Party. I'd like to see some.
They weren't even in the Battle Royal last night, were they?
I don't remember seeing them. So I'd like to see some of these tag teams that clearly have talent go to ROH instead, so they can actually be the focal point of that tag division. When you have a stacked tag division the way that AEW does, I think you can kind of space them out and whatnot. I would love to see Ethan Page go to ROH.
Which, by the way, congrats to Mr. Ethan Page. He is either now or becoming a U.S. citizen. He's moving from Canada to the U.S. But anyway.
Yeah, so I just want to see those some of those names that we've seen signed that clearly were good. Tony Nese is another one. Like, I want to see them get moved over to ROH and be used correctly, not as developmental, but as its own standalone brand. If HBO, I don't like the HBO Max idea just because it makes everybody have to go pay for another streaming service to watch one wrestling show. I think if they want to put it on a streaming service, Fight would be a good one to go to so people can utilize the app for more. Or someone mentioned like Spike TV. I think Spike TV would be a good option. You know, there are other channels and networks out there, but
I mean, ESPN's there.
ESPN.
They haven't had professional wrestling since the early 90s.
And if you're wanting to be a sports-related show, ROH would be one of the closer ones.
Yeah.
It's going to keep it more athleticism, more wrestling, more this and that. So, yeah, I want to see it done correctly. And Tony Khan does not give me that confidence often to do things correctly. And we'll be talking about that more when we give our predictions later on too, is some of my thoughts on some of these matches. But yeah, overall, we'll put a bow on it. I want to see this done correctly. I want to see it be good. I am a little confused by the buying when you've got so many ROH talents that made ROH what it was here more recently off doing all their own things. So I would like to kind of know where Jonathan Gresham is on this and EC3 and Adam Shear and Killer Cross and all those guys who are involved, all the Honor No More people that are in Impact. You know, I kind of want to know where everybody is and who's all going to be kind of making their return back to ROH now.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother topic in itself as far as the control your narrative, if they're going to be involved in this Ring of Honor thing. We've mentioned the connection with Impact and Ring of Honor. There's way so much more we can unpack, but, you know, I think we definitely tackled the meat of the discussion for now. I think the rest of it would just be speculation, and I think we just need to see what happens over the next week, 2 weeks, month.
It's early.
Yeah.
Let's see what comes out of the super card, and then we can kind of talk about it again.
Agreed. All right. Wrestler of the week.
I think for the first time ever, we might have the same one.
Well, you tell me yours. I don't think we will have the same one.
Oh, maybe not then. I thought clearly the rest of the week goes to a guy that deserves it. It's Finn Balor.
Okay, we do have the same one.
The United States champion. That was a shocker to me. I could not believe, not that he doesn't deserve it, I could not believe that right before WrestleMania on a Raw, they had him beat a guy that has not really taken but, 1 or 2 losses since SummerSlam?
I have a theory/fear, though. So they've announced the rematch for the MSG show. I'm worried that he's going to drop it back to him just for the purpose of, you know, anything can happen on a house show. But, I mean, Madison Square Garden's not really a house show, no matter if it's televised or not, because it's Madison Square Garden. But I'm concerned that they put it on Finn just so he can drop it back to him.
See, I actually have the opinion of they wanted a bigger name for WrestleMania for a match, and Finn as the champion is a bigger thing.
Could be.
I think he's still going to fight Damian Priest at WrestleMania for the belt. They also clearly wanted to turn Priest heel. I did think it was weird that they did the Priest heel turn the same night as an Edge heel.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
And almost pretty close to back-to-back segments. They only had like 1 or 2 segments in between them. But I thought it was really weird that you flipped both of them the same night. But either way, I thought it was cool. We're actually not far away from Finn Balor being a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah.
He's been Intercontinental champion. He's been United States champion. He has been Universal champion. So really all that's left for him to be considered Grand Slam is a tag run. I don't know who that partner is going to be. Maybe it'll be AJ Styles, but we'll just have to see down the line. But I think it's cool that he got to add that to his arsenal.
I agree. It's nice to see a title change on Raw for once. I meant to go back and dig to see when the last title change we had on Raw that wasn't the 24/7 championship.
Or tag. Because tag belts, I feel like switch on Raw and
singles championship.
Singles title.
It might have been whenever Lashley beat Miz for the WWE championship.
That's the most recent one I can think of.
It's been a while. I meant to go back and look, and I'm
excited that Finn has something now. Like, of course, I think he's a main level talent. I think he should be world champion again at some point. And I think they've dropped the ball on that on more than one occasion. But it's nice to see him do something other than just being the guy that's jobbing to Austin Theory. Like, yeah, I'm excited. It's refreshing to see.
I agree. All right. So speaking of championships and belts and such,
pull my notes up.
It's time for our next segment for our next round, if you will, for our brand draft. But today we are going to be tackling belts / championships / titles, whatever you want to call it. We've got it as belts on our draft boards. So that being said, I'm going to switch to our wide shot, and I gotta grab the coaster because we got to flip for it.
The dreaded coaster.
I am undefeated on coaster flips.
I'm going to be honest. If I win this one today, it'll be the one that I did not want to win the most because I have enough titles that I would be super happy with that I don't think I need to go first. But all the other ones I wanted to go first.
Okay. So for those of you, I was about ready to look at this camera. For those of you that have maybe not joined us, to this point, we have chosen our male wrestlers. We've both used up our wild card. We've selected on-screen personalities. part-time wrestlers and announcer teams, as well as our broadcast company / network. Does no one have a darn quarter? No, we did not have a quarter during our 12-hour stream when we started this, so I'm just keeping it consistent and using the coaster. So we're flipping this coaster. It is label side up is heads. You can't see this, and then the other side is tails.
And I cannot seem to find a way to win.
But I'm just keeping it consistent.
Real quick, throw it in the chat. What should I select, heads or tails?
Yeah, you got. I'm gonna let Cole call it in the air, and you guys tell Cole if you should pick heads or tails.
Tell me heads, because so far I've made the wrong call. So
every time,
a few people here, I'm gonna take the general consensus after I see like 3 or 4 ones out there. So just throw it out there.
So let's see how many times we've done. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4. We've done 5 segments. But we did 2 together.
But we flipped every single one.
So so Cole's 0-5.
Okay, I got 1 heads and 1 tails. You guys are not helping.
I've got 2 heads and 1 tails.
Okay, I've not seen the other one. Oh, there it is.
We got 3 heads now.
All right, the general consensus is heads. So I'm going tails.
You're really gonna go tails?
Tails. It's tails.
Do you want to call it in the air?
No, it's tails.
Just officially call it in the air.
Heads. Is it tails? You gotta be kidding me!
Look, no, I'm serious. Look at it. I don't want you to feel
I
like.
don't want to look at it. Oh my goodness. This coaster.
That is fantastic.
This coaster. This coaster is gonna be the end of me.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
I tried to trick the coaster. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to call Danhausen and tell him to lift this thing off me.
That's right. You asked him to do it though.
I asked him to curse the show, not me.
Yeah. Nonetheless. Okay.
Wires got crossed somewhere.
Okay. So I told Cole before we went live, this segment I've purposely not done any planning, any research, but I did it on purpose to make this more fun. So, and by the way, this part was unplanned as well, as far as Cole asking you guys which, if he should select heads or tails. I'm going to ask you guys, what should my first belt / championship be?
Oh, snap. Viewer's choice.
Well,
I got to explain this part real quick.
Well, hold on. I'm just taking suggestions. I'm not saying I'm going to go with the majority. I just want to hear what you guys think. The coaster curse, exactly. Anyway, go ahead.
So when it comes to belts, we are selecting the belt name, so whatever that title goes by, but we're also allowed to select what style or version of that belt it is. So if you pick the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, you can select the big gold of that title. So when you're suggesting or when we're picking, we don't have to specify that if you don't really care what version it is.
I think we should specify which specific belt we want. I think it'll make it more fun.
But regardless, that's how we're doing it. So we are trying to get actual titles. So it's not just the Winged Eagle. Like, we're not looking for those. It's going to be this company's belt and this version.
Yeah,
is how we're doing it. So
yep. Okay. So all right. So my first belt, I'm gonna call it the. I think we can both rationalize that our first belt we're gonna, or maybe not. I don't know. I'm gonna say that mine's gonna be the World Heavyweight Championship. That's just what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna abbreviate it WHC, but it's gonna be the, no pun intended, the coup de grace. It's gonna be the big gold. And when I say big gold, I'm talking like the Flair version that he debuted in the 80s, not that crap that WWE tried to replicate or recreate or whatever.
So the NWA?
Well, yeah, but I'm not calling it NWA. I'm just calling it, yeah.
And to clarify, we have 5 belts that we're drafting. We have to have at least one for a female wrestler, one for a tag team, and one for a male wrestler. The other 2 would be considered wild card belts or whatever you want to do at that point. If you want a trios title, get a trios title. If you want the 24/7 championship, get the 24/7 championship. So we do have to have one for each.
It says if it's your federation, shouldn't it be on your belt? We've not named our companies.
Yeah,
we're just
We're just building a brand.
Yeah.
All right. I'm actually not going to be selecting
Okay.
my world title first.
That's fair.
My first title I'm selecting would be the ROH Pure Championship. So I'm going to call it the Pure Championship.
Interesting. Okay.
I want the Pure Championship rules.
Okay. Fair enough.
I am going to write ROH on it, though, so we know what
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Like I said, guys, I purposely did not plan this in advance at all whatsoever. So I'm just kind of thinking off the cuff here. I think I'm going to keep it old school and stick with my NWA theme. So my next belt is going to be the United States Championship, but I'm going to have it be the Luger version from the late 80s.
I like it. What to do next?
Okay.
My next one, I like to keep it current. I'm going to be taking the AEW Women's World Championship.
Okay. Bold choice, Cotton. We've not even selected our women's roster.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. So I'm just kind of flying off the cuff here. So my number 3 is going to be the Internet Championship, but the specific belt that I'm going to use for the Internet Championship is going to be, and you guys can Google this if you'd like, it's the PWG Heavyweight Championship belt, or the PWG World Championship belt. It's a green strap. It's got like flames on it. It looks really cool. But yeah, Google that if you want. And yeah, so that's what I'm going with. Real quick too, not to get off topic. No word of a lie, I actually had one made, and I was going to keep it, but I gave it to somebody, a former PWG World Champion himself. But that's all I'm going to say for now. So, wink, wink. I'm gonna let that one breathe. I'm gonna let you guys use your imagination as far as what I'm insinuating, maybe what I'm not insinuating. Use your imaginations.
Brian, calm down, buddy. Calm down. Don't be giving away all my secrets over here. All right.
Okay.
What do I want? What do I want? What do I want? I am going to take the NXT Tag Team Championships.
Which, the current version?
No, the original version.
Chris, I'll spoil that part of it. It was not payment for an upcoming guest. That's all I'll say. That's all I will say.
Two left.
Okay. So I need a tag team championship and a women's championship.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so I'm gonna go old school. You guys remember the old? It was like a light blue or baby blue WWF Women's Championship. So next belt is gonna be the Women's Championship, and we're gonna be using that belt, made famous by Alundra Blaze, I do believe. Actually, let me make sure I got that correct. Maybe she didn't have. No, she had the white one, I believe. Yeah, the white one. Okay. Yeah, the white strap is the one I'm going for.
I like it. I do. All right.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, my internet championship is intergender.
Ooh.
So it can be men or women can win that one.
I like that as well. I'm going to be drafting.
Yeah, you're right. It was pinkish, and then it kind of faded and just started to look white. So I want it to look white. I don't want it to be pink.
I'm going to be drafting my world title last. But I have one before that.
I'm trigger happy over here.
I'm actually going to take the Impact X Division Championship.
Okay. I like it.
All right, we both got one left.
So I tried to be creative with the tag team championship, but I can't steer away from it. I'm going classic WWF tag team belts, the dual plated ones. Okay.
Now you can hit my music.
And his name is John C.
For my last pick, my world title championship will be the WWE Spinner Belt.
I actually wish I had the appropriate info or the appropriate intro where it was like the That was awful, I understand, but you guys get the gist of it. Okay, so to recap, Cole's belts, and I'm going to go in order as far as, I guess, hierarchy maybe. So his last pick was his World Championship represented by the spinner belt. I guess your X Division, your Impact X Division belt will be kind of like your secondary.
It's my mid-card.
Your mid-card, but then you also have the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, which has its own rules, so it's not really on the hierarchy. It's just kind of on its own thing.
Its own thing.
Which is cool. I mean, X Division has own rules, does it not?
It has matches that have its own rules. So I have rights to all of the X Division type matches.
You just made Chris puke.
For what?
Probably over your spinner belt pick. That's okay.
You'll be okay.
And then the AW Women's Championship representing his women's belt, or his women's title, and the NXT Tag Team Championship representing the OG NXT Tag belts representing his tag team division. I have got the big gold representing my World Heavyweight Championship, the Luger United States belt representing my United States Championship, the PWG green strap belt. Again, you guys can Google that if you don't know what that is, representing my Internet Championship. I've got the white women's, light pink, but I want white. White old school WWF women's belt representing my women's championship, and my classic WWF tag belts representing my tag team championship, or my tag division, if you will. Will the X belt be defended in a 5-sided ring? Do you mean a 6-sided ring? We're defending it in pentagon rings now.
No, but I don't want to spoil anything for the card that I have to make when this is all said and done.
Oh, my camera's doing something weird now.
So a little reminder for you guys: once we get our brand completely built, we'll be building a pay-per-view. One of the things that we actually haven't drafted yet is our big four pay-per-view. So we'll be able to take one of those 4 that we draft. We're gonna make a whole card for it, and then we're gonna have you guys vote on who had the better brand, and then who has the better card. For that pay-per-view. So what we have left to draft is we have 10 female wrestlers that we'll have to draft, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on the show and how we're going to do that. It'll be a very special episode.
Indeed.
We have tag teams still left to draft, 10 tag teams still left to draft. We have 5 backstage personnel to draft, and we have our big 4 pay-per-view left to draft. So those are still on the card. We've drafted our male wrestlers, our wild cards, on-screen personalities, belts, broadcast company, announcer teams, and part-time wrestlers. So we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, and I'm super excited about it. Our brands are so different, but they're going to be very entertaining to vote against, I think.
Agreed.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Real quick, I want to tell you guys that you can check out the Going Broadway podcast. We are live every Thursday morning, almost, at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So please be sure to check us out on those platforms. Please like, follow, share, subscribe to all of our platforms. I actually need to change our little ticker thing on the bottom of the page, as well as all of our other social media pages. We no longer have an Instagram account, unfortunately, but that's okay.
It's a sad day.
It's a sad day, but so we're no longer on Instagram. Probably won't be for the foreseeable future, but Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Find us there. You can find us on Patreon as well if you want to become a monthly financial supporter of the show. I missed the part-timers. When was that done? Was that last week?
No, that was the day of.
That was the 12-hour stream?
The 12-hour stream. No, it was the week after the 12-hour stream. Because we picked our wild cards during the 12-hour stream, and then the following week we picked our part-timers.
Okay. Yeah, part-timers, we'll just run through those real quick. I'll pause on the promotions. But Cole, as his part-timers, picked PG Punk, because David's the one
No.
CM
CM Punk.
Punk.
I didn't draft PG Punk. They're different.
CM Punk, Chris Jericho, and Ronda with an H. Ronda Rousey.
That's for the marketing purposes. I can't use her real name because of WWE. Thank you very much. And then I also have John Cena because he was my wild card.
Yeah. And then my part-time wrestlers, I've got Edge, Dolph Ziggler, Steve Austin, and then my wild card, while I don't know if he's really part-time right now, but I'll just mention this.
He's been part-time.
My wild card was Brock Lesnar, so that's where we're at there. What happened with Instagram? So long story short, no idea why, no explanation why, but long story short, I had a temporary ban on Facebook, which became a permanent ban, but that my Facebook account was also, my personal Facebook account was also linked to our podcast's Instagram page. So because my Facebook page got shut down, so did the podcast Instagram page. So that's that. Anyway, where were we at? So again, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, please like, follow, share, subscribe, all across the board. Patreon.com/Going Broadway Podcast. You can check us out there. If you want to become a monthly financial supporter, there's perks and benefits for you guys to take advantage of if you would so choose, as little as $5 a month. It helps our podcast to grow, helps us to do fun things, helps to get guests on the show, And, we humbly and greatly appreciate any financial support that you guys would so offer. We do have our store up and running as well, GoingBroadwayPodcast.com. You can check out the shop at the top right corner of the page, I do believe. These are our current Saturday Night's Main Event tribute shirts. $19.99 for a t-shirt plus taxes and shipping, $39.99 plus taxes and shipping for a hoodie. And it's actually getting to where it's almost not hoodie season anymore. So t-shirt season's rolling around. Get your t-shirts. And we have more than just that. We have all of our SKUs that are up on the page as well. Let's see. Where are we at? I think I'm going to save a lot of our other promotions for the special announcements at the end of the show. I do want to play this for you as it pertains to next week's podcast. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
In 1986, the Kingdom of East Anglia saw the birth of their greatest son, an Anglo-Saxon warrior destined to be a champion for the ages and a national treasure for all time.
That's right, guys. Nick Aldis will be joining us next week, Thursday, March 10th, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. And I'm really excited about that interview. Going to be lots to talk about leading up to the Crockett Cup, which is in a couple weeks. And I don't know, the Crockett Cup is really kind of turning out to be a low-key, decent card. And it's not even completely put together yet. So, there's one other thing I was going to say about it specifically, but I'll hold off on that because it pertains to our announcements later on in the show. So stay tuned. We got some more announcements as it relates to March specifically at the end of the show. And let's go to some fan mail.
Just when they think they got the answers, I change the questions.
All right, so guys, send in your questions for Cole and myself. If you have any, should you have any, just keep it clean, keep it decent. And we had a few that were submitted ahead of time. Want to get to those first. But again, get your questions in. We got a substantial amount of time. We can take a decent amount of these. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Okay, so we kind of addressed this already, but we can touch on it a little more. Thomas asks, what if they try and do a WWF/WCW story? Cody actually bought Ring of Honor before TK finished the deal and comes out on the first episode and announces it, then a Ring of Honor versus AEW war. I don't like it.
No,
I mean, it goes back to what we talked about as far as recycled storylines. I don't want to see it again.
it's just not even interesting. Like,
It's not original.
it's not an interesting storyline. Tony Khan should not be on a microphone, which means he'd have to be a lot if they did that storyline. I'm good. Nope.
Chris asks, which this question might have been asked jokingly or in being serious as well, because I could see it as both. He asks, does Jade get bumped down to become the Ring of Honor TBS champion for developmental? Because that's when it was last night. The rumor was it was going to be developmental.
I'll say this. It wouldn't be the TBS championship because I don't see Ring of Honor being on TBS. But I'm going to say no because it seems like they're sold on her being like the next big thing. Bryan Danielson actually kind of vouched for her and had spoken about her look and everything. She's green as grass. I mean, that's all you can say is that until she gets better in the ring, I don't think anyone's going to believe her physical features are there. I agree. She has the look, but until she gets better in the ring, I just can't get on board with her being TBS champion, being AEW Women's champion, being in prominent storylines. So what I would like, I would like for her to go to I don't even know if I could say she'd fit in ROH though, because my hope is that ROH stays intact in what it is. She's not a pure grappler or wrestler or any of those things.
I think she's awful. I'm sorry. I'm not
sorry. She needs to be on Dark or Elevation for a while and hone those skills before I can get behind her being on any television show, honestly.
I get why she has the spot that she has, because she has the physique, she's got the look, but she's not good in the ring. She's not. It's almost, I can equate it to the go-away heat that Baron Corbin had, not because he was bad in the ring, it's just because of his personality, I guess. But Jade's the opposite. She has go-away heat because she's not good in the ring. She has not improved, and I think a lot of it is also due in part to, from what I've seen or what I've read, she's kind of got an off and on attitude backstage that like she's better than other people, that kind of almost bleeds onto social media. Whether it's kayfabe or not, you can kind of see it in her Twitter posts. And it's like, get better in the ring, and then you have every reason and every right to talk like that.
And I think some of that comes from being talked up and built up by some of the veterans in the business, maybe because she has the look. No one could take that away from her. That girl is shredded. I mean, she is jacked to the nines. But looks only get you so far. This is the complaint that people have in WWE, is that a lot of those people have looks, but they don't have talent.
Yeah.
And so I actually would not be shocked. I don't know if they would let her walk, but to me, she's actually a better fit for WWE and their product because she has the physique and she's not required to put on these 5-star wrestling matches. The WWE would be looking to put on more 5-star entertainment slots.
And to take it a step further, I actually think she'd have better coaches in NXT. I mean, no disrespect to the coaches that AEW has. I mean, I know they got Jerry Lynn and Dean Malenko and a host of other guys, but I feel like she needs, younger coaches that can kind of almost relate to her more. I mean, guys, why can't I think of Jamie Noble? Guys that are younger, have a fresher viewpoint on the business today, and not that Jerry Lynn or Dean Malenko doesn't. I'm just, from an outsider's perspective, that's just kind of how I look at it. I mean, somebody like why can't I think of his name? He's on-screen guy for SmackDown. What, like
Adam Pearce?
Adam Pearce, yeah. I was thinking Adam something, but somebody like Adam Pearce, I know he's up there in age more, but still, I think he's been in the ring more recently as an active competitor than Dean Malenko or Jerry Lynn, and I just they
also have Petey Williams there. He's been more active, and who's the other one that's on my mind? Sanjay Dutt, I think, is still there.
I thought he
might have got released.
I don't know if he's still there or not.
But also Abyss.
Joseph Park.
Joseph Parks. He's a bigger guy, too, so he can kind of talk about her size and how to use that size. But they also have the ability to bring in past female wrestlers.
Yeah.
So you get the ability to talk to Ivory, Molly Holly, Trish Stratus, Lita. Like some of the Mickie James it could be around some. She seems like she has a working relation with them somewhat. And then also, who was the other one that was just Paige is still there. And
kind of.
There's another one that's in my head that I cannot. Well, Melina, obviously, there's still working relationships.
Michelle
there.
McCool.
Michelle McCool would be a really good one for her to work with. Actually.
That's another facet of it I just thought of is I don't know how hands-on Kenny Omega has been with him being out, because I mean he's kind of was de facto head of the women's division, so I don't know if that has played a part of it or not. So I'm going to throw this out there. Where did it go? David Tilley, if we took a shot after every super kick on Sunday night, how messed up would we be? Well, let's put the over under super kicks for Sunday night for the pay-per-view.
Oh, super kicks. I was like, shots, mine's going to be 0.
Yeah, super kick. Well, okay. If it's a shot of something non-alcoholic,
fruit snacks,
we'd be fine. I get what he's saying, but let's put the over under. Super kicks on Sunday. Let's put the over under at
15.
Oh, I was gonna go 20 something.
Let's
put the over under at 23. MJ's number. Over under 23.
Who's all on the card?
So we got the Adam Cole Hangman match. We got the Bucks and
Red Dragon and Jungle Boy Luchasaurus.
Luchasaurus throws super kicks too every so often.
Yeah.
Who else we got on the card? I mean, Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker.
Our Pentagon and Pac on it with
the trios match. I gotta pull up the card anyway. Let's just take a look at it. I'm gonna say
just
over
every
but,
match we've named is at least gonna have 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, the trios match. Andrade, Isaiah Cassidy. Maybe that's the reason Private Party didn't compete last night, because it's Andrade, Isaiah Cassidy, and Matt Hardy. But where's the other half of Private Party?
I think he's hurt though, because they've been having Isaiah Cassidy wrestle a lot on his own here.
That's
recently.
right. Okay. Andrade, Isaiah Cassidy, Matt Hardy against Darby, Sammy, and Sting. There would be some super kicks in that match probably. We mentioned the 3-way tag for the AW tag belts. Bryan Danielson, we're not counting his yes kicks as super kicks.
Right. They have to be the wind up and all.
So probably none in that match. Jericho and Eddie, I'd be shocked. Face of the Revolution ladder match. Let's see. Keith Lee.
No.
Probably not. Orange Cassidy. His don't count. His aren't super kicks. Ricky Starks, maybe. Powerhouse, no. Wardlow, no. This is what I find super hilarious. Did you see the announced match for Friday to fill the final spot? Christian Cage versus Ethan Page on Rampage.
Okay.
It's almost like they purposely did that. It's like they saved it for Rampage just so they could do that. So probably not a lot thrown in that
45
match.
super kicks. I think that's a little
That's
high.
going to be too high. Britt and Thunder, CM Punk and MJF, probably not. And then Adam Cole will throw some. Hangman Page might throw some. So, yeah, over under 23 is where I'm going to stay.
I'm going to actually say under.
Okay.
I think it's going to be high, like between 15 and 20, but I don't know if we're going to get 23.
I'm going to put it slightly over. I mean, 25, 26 max. That's where I'm at. Let's take a couple more questions. Where are we at here? DJ Jesse Lee. Why didn't anyone draft Greg Gagne? I would have drafted Vern before I drafted Greg. Brian Steele, are you guys excited? Are you guys ready and excited to face off in WWE 2K22? Look forward to playing against you guys. I'm super stoked about it. When's it's
coming like
next week?
Next week.
Next week, I think.
I never pre-order anything. I just buy it when it drops. So I didn't pre-order anything.
It's not like they're gonna sell out or anything.
I buy it off my Xbox anyways and just download it straight to the Xbox. So but I am pumped about it. I saw the roster, the full roster for it. I'm pumped because there are names on there that I did not think would have made the cut.
There are a lot of names I didn't think
and
would be on there.
I'm actually shocked on some names that still didn't make the cut. Like some names that are on there and other names that aren't on there, but they were released after this person. And
yeah, Fiend, Bray Wyatt's not on it, I don't think.
I didn't see Tony Nese on it, but they have other like 205 guys on there, NXT guys on there. So I don't know. But overall, I was pretty pumped about it, pretty excited about it, and I'm glad Keith Lee's on there. That's the one I'm kind of excited the most about, I think. I think it's gonna be good. And once it drops, I'm gonna probably take a week or two to play it, kind of learn the game a little bit, And then we'll have more to announce about our tournaments and how we're going to utilize the game.
Which will be all you.
For the podcast.
As far as the podcast-related activities for WWE 2K22, Cole's going to kind of head that up, so he'll keep you guys updated. He'll let you know where it's going to be posted. That's going to be entirely up to him. When and where it gets posted, I mean, so right now, he's kind of taking charge of our Facebook page. I'm in charge of our Twitter page. So, I mean, if one of us posts something on one, then, we'll share it with the other and make sure it gets posted on everything. But, yeah, we'll keep you guys in the loop as far as the happenings and when. So
I need to play the game a little bit to figure out how we're going to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, it'll probably be, I'd venture to say, into April before we really do anything.
If not early May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Man, we're doing really good on time.
Well, AEW's predictions are going to probably take us a moment.
Yeah, so if you guys notice on our little tiles thing, we've got a separate sections, tiles, whatever you want to call it, for AEW Revolution and then predictions. My initial thought was we were going to kind of break it down and analyze it and then do our predictions, but I told Cole before we started, it's going to be kind of hard to analyze it without really making our predictions known, if that makes sense. So we're going to kind of do these segments in tandem, if you will. So I'm actually going to skip down one more. All right. So we've pretty much got the full card here. I mean, minus the last spot for the Revolution ladder match. I mean, I don't see them putting more matches on. The main card right now has 9 matches, and then they've got 2 pre-show matches. So
we're going to start with the pre-show, I guess?
We'll start with the pre-show. I mean, there's not going to be a whole lot to analyze with the pre-show. It's not going to be a whole lot to analyze with some of these main card matches as well, but a couple of talking points I wanted to get to with some of the main card matches. So we've got Hook and QT Marshall as one of the pre-show matches.
Interesting.
I don't see how Hook doesn't win this.
I don't know if you're. The thing is, Hook's got a following right now, so you gotta skyrocket that kid to the moon, in my opinion. So, I think he should demolish QT Marshall. I don't even think it should be a close match.
What am I missing with DJ Jesse Lee's comment? You guys realize some 9-year-old is.
Oh, in the video game, WWE's game, like.
Oh,
if
okay.
we play just randomly online against some people.
More than likely, yeah. I mean,
we're gonna get destroyed by some kid that plays it literally all through the night, all day long. I'm a cat. Listen, Alex is definitely gonna be a casual player. He just got a gaming system, so
I've never even been a serious gamer, period. But I've not gamed since probably the Nintendo 64 GoldenEye days. For what it's worth, like. I was gifted an Xbox One recently, and I'm still figuring it out. Like I told Cole, it's like I'm used to being able to just have controllers, plug them in, because what I have are wireless controllers. I think they have to be wireless with an Xbox One, do they not?
I do think they still make some wired ones, but
anyway, I'm used to being able to plug controllers in, and then you can select however many players you want. With Xbox One, it's like you have to start with one player, then
log in.
then add each of these other ones. It's like. I just want to play. I just like if I'm having multiplayers, I just want to be able to hand my kid the remote or whatever or controller and go. And it's anyway. So I'm still learning it as we go.
I'm definitely a casual player. So as far as us like playing, we'll play some, but we're actually going to be facilitating a lot and whatnot. But we'll be playing some and doing maybe some game nights. We might do like a Twitch night where we just play with you guys and shoot the breeze while we're on, but all that stuff's to come. But yeah, I'm sure if we were to go online, there'd be some wicked 7-year-old even probably that could destroy us.
Oh yeah, we'd be like, it's like who's this dude that's smoking us? And then like
they're in the chat with their little baby voice.
In the chat, or we'll have headsets on, and it's just like some kid that's like talking super high. It's like
you're garbage. You're garbage.
Anyway, so. Yeah, Hook and QT Marshall. I think we both are.
I'm saying Hook, and I think he should demolish him. I don't even think it should be close.
Yeah. Chris Statlander against Layla Hirsch.
I want to see Chris Statlander get used better, so I'm going to say Chris Statlander.
I'm going to say Chris Statlander as well. I feel like Layla Hirsch does not fit AEW. She needs to be like
ROH.
Yeah, I was going to say NWA.
Layla Hirsch would be a really great
just straight
addition.
up MMA. Like, just go get out of professional wrestling and do MMA. That's just,
I think she'd fit ROH if she's wanting to do pro wrestling. And Chris Statler needs a gimmick change.
They're slowly getting away from her alien thing, which
she's got so much talent. Make her just a beast in the ring. Like, she's so good.
Let's see. Okay, so this was a talking point, and this can be we'll kind of make our prediction for. It's like a 2-part prediction. So, I want our next prediction to be, what do we think they will open up with?
That's an interesting question. I'm gonna say the Face of the Revolution match.
That's exactly what I was thinking. But they've opened up with those ladder matches before, have they not?
Probably, but I don't see another match that shouldn't be higher up in the card. That's going to be exciting, you know.
I'm waiting for AEW though to open up with just like a standard, like have a standard open for their show, like, you know, the trios tornado tag match, something like that.
That could technically open too, but if you're wanting to start with a bang, I think you gotta go the Revolution.
Or if they really want to start off the bang, start with the dog collar match. I don't think they will, but
that one to me almost could be the main event over the world title match. Like, it needs to be like second to third to last, like somewhere close to the end.
I think I'm in agreement with you, though. I think the ladder match will open up the card. But what's interesting, another talking point, is we know everybody that's in this match. There's no wild cards. There's no unknowns.
We got to decide who's going between Ethan Page and Christian Cage, technically.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
but we know every name that's supposed to be in.
Yeah, and to be fair, I'll just say this: I don't think either one of those would win this match.
True. I'm gonna go ahead and make my pick on who does make it into that match, though.
Okay.
I think it has to be Ethan Page.
I agree. I don't know how or why you'd put Christian in this match,
other than just name value. But Christian can come out during Revolution with Lucha and still get his little appearance in.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Ethan Page wins and is in that match.
I agree with you on that one. Okay. Now, as far as the winner of the match, who you got?
There's a right answer, and then there's an answer that I think is gonna happen.
Okay.
The right answer is Keith Lee. The right answer is Keith Lee.
Okay.
But I have this feeling with the feuds and stuff they're teasing between him and Starks that he's going to get jacked out of this match.
I agree with you.
Which leads me to think that it's going to be Orange Cassidy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't see that one.
Like, out of nowhere, it's going to be Orange Cassidy or Keith Lee and Ricky Starks and Will Powerhouse Hobbs, whatever you want to call him. They're all kind of going at each other, whatever. And they get everybody off the ladders. It looks like one of those three is going to win. And then they all fall. And out of nowhere, Orange Cassidy does like his little lazy crawl up the ladder and wins the match.
See, there's a lot of different ways you could go with this. You could have either Keith Lee or Ricky Starks win it.
And continue their feud.
But
technically, whoever wins that gets a title shot at...
Well, what I'm getting at is have one of them win it, then the other one costs...
the title.
Cost them the match.
I didn't think of that. The right answer is Keith Lee. So if that happens, that is the right answer, and that's what they should do. But I just have this weird feeling. This is where I was talking about I don't trust Tony Khan to do the right thing always. And so I'm kind of like, I have this weird feeling that it's going to be Orange Cassidy.
I wouldn't be surprised if we're both wrong and it does end up being Keith Lee, but I'm actually not going to pick Keith Lee. I'm going to pick Wardlow.
That's a good one, too. It is. But I feel like my Wardlow thing is going to go into another prediction.
Okay. That's fair. Okay, so you're going OC, I'm going Wardlow. So let's just do the 6-man tornado tag match. AHFO against Darby, Sammy, and Sting.
Is it bad that I don't really care about this match?
I only care because I think it's going to further the aspect of splitting Matt from AHFO, which will lead to Jeff coming in.
Hopefully. Let's ask this. Jeff could technically start appearing at this event.
I don't think so.
No, it's next weekend that his clause is up.
March 9th.
And this is March 6th or
Yeah, I mean, it's just
shy. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, is there any potential we do see Jeff? But I guess technically that means he can't make an on-screen appearance at all, right?
Correct.
He can't do anything. Okay.
nothing.
So I'm going to say, just for the sense of picking an answer, I'm going to say that Darby, Sting, Guevara win.
I am too. I'm surprised they don't have the TNT Championship being defended. I get that he's defending it on Rampage, but I mean, you could really flip-flop.
I think they're saving it because they're doing the Revolution match, the Face of the Revolution match. They're trying to save a bigger marquee match.
Yeah.
Because name someone he could fight that's not already in the Revolution match that has been on TV. Because I'd say Brian Cage, but
anyway,
there's not many names to pick from.
TBS Championship match: Jade Cargill defending against Ty Conti.
Again, what the right answer is,
I was going to say the exact same
and
thing.
what is going to happen are two different things. I will say the right answer is going to be my pick as well. I think Ty Conti is going to win this. I think she needs to win this.
I'm really conflicted about it.
It's a terrible build, though. They barely have done anything with it, which makes you think they're going to go Jade Cargill. But I'm okay.
I like how you say Cargill every time.
Yeah, she's terrible. She doesn't deserve her name said right. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make that my bold prediction. I'm okay with being wrong on it because if it is, they're wrong technically. But
okay,
I'm gonna go Ty.
Okay, I'm gonna go Jade on this one. I hate saying that, but I feel like this TBS Championship is gonna be. They're gonna wait for some big marquee name to come in. Here's my bold prediction. I think whoever takes the TBS Championship off Jade Cargill is not even in AEW right now. I don't have a specific person in mind. I'm just saying I don't think they're not in AEW right now, or they're not signed to AEW. Like, they might start doing cross-promotional whatever again, or Forbidden Door stuff, but I hope I'm wrong. Let's see. Chris Jericho, Eddie Kingston. Is it bad that I have no excitement whatsoever about this match?
The only thing I liked so far about the storyline was the promo they cut between each other. I think not last night, but 2 weeks ago.
Before, yeah.
I actually did really enjoy their promo with one another. They're both great on the mic, but it looks like two dads about to go at each other in the ring. Like,
now, to be fair, I got to say this. Jericho's really worked on his look. I mean, he's slimmed down, and he looks good.
Agreed.
So, props to him for doing that. But at the same time, like, how old is he? 54?
I
got to look it up.
Couldn't even tell you.
51. Okay, 51. I'm sorry. But to me, 51. Listen. 51. The 51 years of age can look different on a ton of people, because Christopher Daniels is 51. He looked pretty good last night, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean,
a little stiff in the knees, but
yeah. But anyone in their 50s is gonna.
There was a specific takedown that Danielson did on him where it was like really stalled because you got to get Christopher Daniels' knees to cooperate. But overall, this match doesn't really need to happen. But for the sake of picking,
I'm actually going to go Eddie Kingston on this one, because you could really look at either one and say, well, Jericho just took a pinfall loss to was it Santana or Ortiz that pinned him a couple weeks ago? I forgot which. But Eddie Kingston's taken losses lately too. I mean, has he won an AEW pay-per-view match?
Solo?
Any match.
Him and John Moxley won on a pay-per-view as a tag team.
Against who?
Couldn't tell you.
I just remember them wrestling the Bucks and losing.
No, they had another one where they fought against. It was a non-title thing. It was against another tag team, but I can't remember who it was. But I thought they had a pay-per-view where the two of them won as a tag team.
Yeah. Anyway, again, this could just be.
I missed something last night though, because the site that I watched AEW on, it like cut off between the two. What happened with Jericho and Santana Ortiz? Because they like fist bumped each other and said, "Are we good? Yeah, I always got your back." Like,
I know what you're talking about. I missed something there too.
If anyone can let me know what happened between Jericho and Santana Ortiz last night, like why were they fist bumping and why were they like giving him respect and saying we're good again? Because I missed the part where that happened. All I saw was them fist bumping and saying, "I got your back." But for the sake of picking somebody, I'm gonna say Eddie Kingston as well, just because I think the way the storyline's built up, you keep saying, Eddie Kingston can't win the big one. I think you got to give it to him at this point.
Agreed. Let's see. Moxley and Danielson.
This one's tough because I don't know who you can give a loss to where it's not going to be a big deal. Santana and Ortiz just walked away after the fist bump.
Yeah, we get that, but
what happened to like?
Why are they good now? Was it just because they needed to have their match and then now there's mutual respect there and they're cool now? Because once people have their fight, again, air quotes. Like in real life, whenever people fight, they kind of do what they got to do, and then they're good. Is it that? Are we supposed to just? Is that implied, or because I agree with you? I must have missed something too.
Yeah, the way I came in, I think. Oh, okay. I don't think this is a time limit draw. As far as the match we're currently on, they didn't answer if they were really good with Jericho.
Okay.
So Jericho was cutting a backstage interview, and they walked up. He held up his fist for a fist bump. They fist bumped him and walked away, and then he shouted, "I always got your back," or whatever. I understand now. Okay.
Oh, and yeah, Tom, that's another talking point I was going to forget. Thanks, Thomas. Foz is getting ready to tour again, so we're probably not going to see. I
always hear that, though, and that seems to never have anything to do with what's going on here.
But see, that's the thing. It kind of does because, like, Jericho won't be on Revolution, Rampage or Dynamite for like a couple weeks or whatever, but you don't really notice. Like,
there's that.
He doesn't need to be there.
This particular win, to me, if he was to get the win, wouldn't matter.
Well, no, I know. I'm just saying that was
it's a.
I just had that as a talking point I wanted to mention. I overlooked it. So,
as far as Moxley versus Danielson,
this is a toss-up.
I could go either way. If the storyline is going to go the way I think it's going to go, I do think they end up teaming together.
Really?
Based off something Renee Paquette said on one of her podcasts.
Okay.
With somebody. I think it was with Kyle O'Reilly. I'm going to say Bryan Danielson gets the win after a very gruesome, bloody match. They gain each other's respect. And then I still could see it going one of two ways storyline-wise. But Bryan Danielson gets the win. They bleed together the whole nine. And then afterwards, one of two things can happen. John Moxley sticks his hand out. They shake hands. They become a tag team for a little bit and do that whole thing. Or John Moxley sticks out his hand out of show of respect, and then Danielson continues to beat on him, saying, "You're not who I thought you were." All this stuff. Now that we've bled together, I see that I'm better than you, and
And you know it.
And they can continue their storyline, if you will. So either way.
So if they tag team, though, I'm just curious with your idea, are they a face or a heel tag team?
Heel.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going Danielson as well. I think I'm going to go the opposite way. I think this will just be a It's not. I don't want to say a one-off match because I mean they've had a feud up to this point, but I think after this match, they'll both go off and do
They're separate
things. So let's see. Let's do the triple threat tag for the World Tag Team Championship: Jurassic Express, Red Dragon, and the Bucks. I'll say this: I really wanted FTR to have the spot that the Bucks got. I would have much rather seen FTR and Red Dragon and Jurassic Express in this.
I agree to an extent, and I'm not an FTR fan, you know that.
Yeah.
But I think, with my prediction, I think there's a reason why these two tag teams are in there.
No, I agree.
I'm actually going to predict that Red Dragon wins this match and becomes the new tag team champions.
Okay.
The reason why is that they're teasing this Adam Cole in the middle of Young Bucks and Red Dragon storyline. Don't know when Kenny's going to be back, so I don't know when we're going to get the trio versus trio type thing. But I think it's got to be close based off of something that Tony Khan has said here recently. Timetables and everything else, I think we're close to him having a return of some sorts. Even if he doesn't have to get back in the ring, he might be able to be back on screen at least for a few weeks before he's ready to be in the ring.
Okay.
I'm going to say Red Dragon wins this match, becomes the tag team champions. Lucha Express or whatever you want to call them. They're not Lucha Express. What are they called?
Jurassic Express.
Sorry. They were never supposed to be the tag team champions in the first place. That was put on them when Phoenix broke his arm.
So we think anyway.
I'm pretty sure based off how things were going. I actually think it spoiled a lot of plans because they were in a feud with Malachi Black. I think we were supposed to see a tag feud between Malachi Black and Brody King versus them with the way things were going. Either way, I think Red Dragon winning the belts is going to set up a major storyline where Adam Cole will have to choose between the Bucks and Red Dragon because they won't be able to get along. And Young Bucks are going to want to challenge for the belts, and they're going to be at each other's throats. And Adam's going to try to play peacemaker for a while, probably all the way up until the next pay-per-view. They'll build this all the way up to Double or Nothing.
Okay.
Which is enough time to get Kenny Omega back. So during the pay-per-view, Adam Cole will turn on the Young Bucks, give them, super kicks, the whole nine. You'll get the little kissing scene probably on them on the cheeks or whatever. And then Kenny Omega's music will hit and he'll come out and save the Bucks. And, we'll get that feud hashed out for the rest of the year probably.
Okay.
But I'm going to say Red Dragon wins the belts.
I'm going to... So I feel like there's a lot of matches that has a right answer and
Correct.
The answer that AEW has.
Yeah.
I do agree with you. I think the right thing to do here would be to put it on Red Dragon. I actually think like Red Dragon and the Bucks are going to cost each other. I think Jurassic Express retains.
And very well could.
So, I mean, and that's...
Like I said, I'm going with the right answer on this one.
Yeah. Let's see. Just mentally checking off the list which ones we've done.
Some of the comments here. I'm not wanting Jurassic Express to lose it. I like Jungle Boy. I like Luchasaurus. I like the tag team. But you're going to get a bigger pop from your tag team champions if it's Red Dragon, just being real, especially with Adam Cole. And I'm not giving my prediction on that yet, but if Adam Cole is like the big name in AEW, when his music hits and the tag champs, it's like Undisputed Era kind of all over again from the standpoint of they need to have the belts alongside Adam Cole. So,
yeah. And it could be one of those things where, we get a Jurassic Express defends against Red Dragon again on Dynamite or something, and they win the belts then. Something, I mean, there's a lot of different ways.
I wouldn't be shocked if Lucha doesn't even... I keep saying Lucha because of Luchasaurus.
Yeah.
If Jurassic Express doesn't even take the pin in this. I could see like Red Dragon and Young Bucks working together to the point that then at the very end, kind of like they did in the Battle Royale where they cost them the match, they sneak in and get a pin behind Young Bucks' back after they thought they were all working together.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Could happen. All right. AEW Women's World Championship match. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, against Thunder Rosa. Let's put it this way. I'll let you give your prediction first. I wouldn't even say, because we've been saying that, there's a right answer and then the way that we think AEW is actually going to go. I don't know if there's really a right answer for this one.
I don't think there's a wrong answer.
Yeah.
From the standpoint of I'm okay with whoever wins this match.
Exactly.
There's not very many women in the women's division that I would be okay with defeating Britt Baker for the women's title.
Agreed.
Thunder Rosa would be one of maybe 3 that I could name on their current roster that I'm like, yep, you're one of the names I could pick.
Yeah.
The way that they're building this, that Thunder Rosa's never beat her legitimately, because only time Thunder Rosa beat her was the Lights Out match
and last night.
And right. So which that was technically a tag match, but
no, I know, but Thunder Rosa actually pinned Britt Baker.
Right.
So
which then is not a good sign, because I feel like that means that she's not going to get the pin.
Which, real quick, that's my prediction. I think Britt retains here just because you don't see very often where the champion takes back-to-back losses in a non-title or a tag match and then loses the championship.
Especially in AEW. I'm of the mindset Britt's going to be holding this belt for a while. So I'm going to say Britt Baker retains. I hate it because I don't know who would be the person that you could have defeat her. The 3, like Thunder Rosa is one of them. Ruby Soho would be one I'd be okay with.
Yeah, I don't even know about that one.
But because they've not built her correctly either, to be that, to be fair. But outside of that, I don't know if I could name without having to build somebody up to do it. Like, because Chris Statlander would be one I think has the talent, but you got to build her up to actually be a viable choice. So I don't know. I hate to say it, because I think if that's the case, you should have saved Thunder Rosa for when it's time for her to get the win over her. But I'm going to say Britt Baker retains.
See, here's my, and Chris kind of beat me to it. What I would have done is I would have had Thunder Rosa be TBS champion and do a champion versus champion match. And then,
there's no losing there in a sense.
And then whoever, wins both championships obviously vacates the TBS championship, and then do your tournament or battle royal or however you want to do it. But I feel like that would just kind of added more intrigue to the match.
I'm not a Serena Deeb fan. I think Serena Deeb would be better off in ROH in that women's division. She's not entertaining to watch, in my opinion. And she has no personality as well. Just my thoughts. I don't think Sheeta's someone that could do it. I don't want to see Nyla Rose anywhere near it. I don't know if there's anybody on the roster, y'all. I'm just being
Mercedes real. Martinez isn't a bad one, but she's new. They need to build her up better.
They would be better off bringing in Athena and having her be the one that beats Britt Baker when the time comes than any of the people that are on their current roster.
Agreed. Dog collar match, MJF against CM Punk.
This is one that has a right answer and then the answer that I think AEW is going to do.
Really? Okay, do tell.
There's a lot of facets that go into this match, because all the while we've had really great MJF promos. CM Punk probably gave one of the better promos I've seen from him in a while last night.
I felt like it almost made me feel uncomfortable a couple times, because it's like, is he forgetting his lines? Because it was like,
I think that was selling though, because
I agree. I'm just saying that's kind of how it felt.
I liked what he did 2 weeks ago when he came out after MJF's really good promo and was like, is that true? I actually believed the storyline. I thought both of them did a very good job in that. I thought Punk did good last night with the promo and kind of selling like, am I the bad guy in this story? Like, am I the cause of all this? And I'm enjoying the storytelling at the moment. But all the while they're teasing Wardlow and this breakup and MJF being just complete trash to Wardlow. And I think you're going to see some of that play into the role when Wardlow's in the Face of the Revolution match. I think Shawn Spears will come out and distract Wardlow from being able to go and do what he needs to get done, to the point where Wardlow gets taken out and he's not in the match when the completion of the match happens. I think they're going to expect Wardlow to come out and help during this match, and he's not going to. He'll be out there, but he'll be conflicted. The right answer for the winner of this match would be MJF.
I agree.
The right answer would be the promo he just built, the storyline that's been here. You want this guy to be like your next big thing. You got to let him be the one that gets over on CM Punk. I know he technically has a win over him already, but you got to let MJF be the winner of this feud, of this storyline. It will not hurt Punk at all to lose this storyline. MJF needs to win this. Now, with all that being said, I think CM Punk's going to win this match. He's already taken a loss in his hometown, whether it was clean or not. But I think they're going to have Wardlow get involved in this match where he actually takes out MJF, allows Punk to get the upper hand after he's just gotten crapped on between FTR maybe being out there, Shawn Spears being out there, all this stuff. I think Wardlow will be the one that evens the playing field for Punk and, kind of makes it all fair again. Punk will hit the GTS or whatever he's calling it now and get the win over MJF. And now MJF's storyline is going to be with Wardlow after that.
Okay.
Which I don't like.
I think you're correct. I agree with everything you said, but I think MJF will go into his next program with Wardlow, but he'll win this match. Because I don't know if I see the program with Wardlow being more than one match. Now, whether it's a singles match, a tag match, a gimmick match, whatever, I don't think they'll have 3 matches like MJF and Punk have had, because this will be their third match. Second match.
Technically,
second match, but they did the MJF thing where he choked him out or whatever, and then they restarted the match. So technically second match. I don't know. I have a hard time seeing MJF going into a feud with Wardlow coming off a loss.
A loss caused by Wardlow.
No, I get that. I still think you can get to that feud, have MJF win this, but have them, Wardlow do your powerbomb symphony on Punk, and then, he says no or whatever, like post match or whatever. And
could be, I don't know. Like I said, the right answer is MJF, and if he gets the win, that's the correct answer.
That's what I'm going with. I'm going MJF.
But I just, for some reason, have this feeling CM Punk's going to get the win.
And then last match has a couple of talking points I wanted to bring up. We'll take a few minutes to discuss that one. Before we get there, please stick around. In a few minutes, we have some insane special announcements on future guests for the month of March. March is going to be an exciting month for us, so hang out with us for another few minutes, and we got some cool stuff to share with you. AW World Title match, Adam Cole against Adam Page. So, a few things. This will be their third match, whenever you count their Ring of Honor stint. Adam Cole won the first, Hangman Page won the second, so this is kind of like the rubber match. The second thing I was going to bring up is you have to factor in couple things. Situation with, Hangman Page, Dark Order getting involved, Adam Cole and Red Dragon / the Bucks possibly getting involved. You mentioned Kenny Omega possibly returning at some point, could be on the pay-per-view. We could also, as apropos as it's become with AW pay-per-views, we could get a debut that ties into this world title match. There's just a lot of factors to consider here. You also have to remember that Adam Cole's undefeated at this point. So if Hangman Page gets the win, that means he's given Bryan Danielson his first loss, Adam Cole his first loss. Does AEW really invest that much into Hangman Page at this point? Even though, at least from my perspective, his title reign has kind of been, he's had good matches, but it still felt underwhelming, which is kind of a weird dynamic because, matches with Bryan Danielson were good. his Texas death match with Lance Archer, I thought was really good. Took some nasty bumps in that match too.
By the way, where's Archer been since that happened?
Yeah. So just a number of factors to consider in predicting this match. I'm going to let you go first.
Well, first off, I want to talk just for a second. If we're thinking any debuts, what debuts would we be thinking that would pertain and make sense to do during this match?
Me personally, I'm not thinking any. I just wanted to bring it up because we've not addressed it to this point.
There's no possible names that we would think that AEW would be like, you know what? It would basically be hot-shotting whoever that person is to the title picture.
No, I'm saying I don't think we get any debuts, period, throughout the whole night.
Okay, I'm just saying, though, if for some reason there were one in this spot, it would have to be someone of a high-caliber name that would be hot-shotted directly to the title picture in a sense, or directly to whoever's losing this match, so if it's Cole or whatever. You're more likely to maybe see a Kenny Omega return at that point and feud with one of the losers because he has history with both, or the winner, technically.
Oh, yeah. Jeremy says Archer was on Dark. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
we don't watch Dark.
My point exactly is...
Where's he been?
He was nowhere to be found. Title match, nowhere to be found.
He goes... that's the point we've made with AEW booking. You literally go from the main event in a world title match to wrestling Fuego on Dark.
And I'm not a huge Acclaim fan, but during his verse last night, he even said, we've been the #1 tag team for over a month, and they have to fight in a battle royal to get a title match. It's just that stupid stuff. Anyways, Johnny Gargano interferes.
No.
I don't see it. I don't see Wyndham. I'm trying to get rid of any big names.
Cody won't be involved because even if he does come back to AEW, it's too soon. I feel like if he's going to come back, it's going to breathe for quite a while.
It'll be after Mania for sure.
It'd probably go.
They're wanting to get everybody like pumped that he's going to show up at Mania or the Monday after or the SmackDown after.
We're going to know a lot the night after Mania. If Cody is not there, then something's up.
Or the SmackDown. I would say give it to the SmackDown after Mania.
Possibly.
Just in case.
Yeah. But if he doesn't show up on SmackDown, the SmackDown after WrestleMania, I would venture to say something is, we'll know a lot by then.
Right.
But they would let this breathe until probably Double or Nothing.
For sure. So I'm just trying to eliminate any major names that could be involved here. I don't think any of those would be names that I could see making sense. A Kenny Omega return would make sense.
That seems the most likely at this point.
But I don't know how you would do it because technically he would have beef with Hangman Page.
Technically he left as a heel. You're right.
And he would still have beef with Hangman Page. But with the way things have gone with the Bucks and Red Dragon, the more ideal storyline would be him and Adam Cole beefing. So I don't know what you would do there. I feel like it's too soon to bring him back. I'd almost be bringing him back at Double or Nothing when Cole's already turned on the Bucks. I don't think you're going to see him turn on the Bucks this weekend. Then there's a lot more story to tell there. So overall, looking at it, you brought up some good points. The record, Adam Cole's record, is a big deal. He's only taken technically one loss, which was a lights out match. So for record's sake, doesn't count.
Yeah.
Page would have been the guy that has beaten now two of the big names you brought in that were undefeated up until the point they faced him. To me, again, there's a right answer, and then there's the answer that I just feel like AEW is going to do. The thing that keeps coming to my mind is that Adam Page would have then gone down as the shortest reigning AEW champion that they've had. All of their AEW title runs have been quite lengthy. Kenny Omega held it for, about a year?
Yeah.
Jon Moxley probably has held it the least amount of time out of the ones that have held it. I think he held it for under a year, but pretty close to.
Well, let's just pull it up. Well,
Jericho held it for at least a year.
all right. So, no, Jericho 182 days.
Okay.
Moxley 277. Kenny 346. Hangman is at 110 and counting.
So I just feel like, do you really want the what we would say the youngest guy, the guy that you're saying is the kind of the future of your company to have the shortest reign thus far as a champion? That's where I don't know what you do there. I'm gonna go with what I think the right answer is, but it's not what I think AEW will do. The right answer is to put the belt on Adam Cole.
I agree.
Adam Cole is the hottest thing in wrestling, outside of like your Roman Reigns stuff that WWE does. You're talking about a machine that's really able to get him out there. Adam Cole is the hottest thing in wrestling because no matter where he goes, he's over. Always. With the storyline with the Bucks and Red Dragon, the potential when Kenny Omega comes back, the potential matches Adam Cole could have with other number one contenders. Until that happens, I think that it's best for business, best for what you're doing to put the belt on Adam Cole. My pick's going to be Adam Cole, but I think AEW is going to have Adam Hangman Page win it. So I'm going to say Adam Cole wins, but I am not shocked if Adam Page retains this.
So wait, you think the right answer would be
Adam Cole,
which is your prediction?
which is my prediction.
Okay, I
But
thought you
it's
said-
not- but it's not what I think AEW is going to do. I'm gonna go with my heart,
Okay.
not my gut, which I've been doing a lot today, is because I want to see AEW get on the right track. I want to see them do the right things for where business is at right now, and I think this is the right time to pull the trigger on some of these people.
Gotcha. I'm going Adam Cole winning the championship here. So, I apologize if I got out of order as far as when I wanted to bring stuff up, but I had some other things I wanted to tie into the pay-per-view. So, as far as debuts, this is just stuff worth noting, just rumors at this point, and you also have to factor in who this came from. But supposedly, according to our buddy Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, indicated that we could see Cesaro debuting. Now, he doesn't say where on the card. He could just be his own segment, like our man Jay Lethal had, where they brought him out, and how we felt like Jay Lethal kind of trolled us a little bit.
He would be going by the name
Claudio
Castagnoli,
or however you pronounce it,
unless he decides to do a remake version of his Cesaro name, where it's like Cesaro something, or
yeah,
because I think that would actually be better for him to keep the Cesaro name somehow.
yeah.
If he comes out, the only spot I could actually see him would actually be during the Kingston Jericho match because of the stuff Kingston put on social media, and that kind of sets up a match that Cesaro could easily win on a Rampage or on Dynamite the following Wednesday or Friday, and gets him his like debut match or whatever. So that one wouldn't shock me. I just don't see it in the title picture. It would have to be in one of these matches that doesn't mean as much.
Agreed. I feel like, although we would understand it, I feel like at large that sort of debut would feel underwhelming.
Agreed.
But, because a lot of Cesaro fans, their beef with him and being in WWE was that he never got a main card title shot. So you'd automatically think, well, if he's going to debut, he'll try to do something involving the title match, which logically, I don't think that's the case. I think it makes more sense to, like you said, do something during the Jericho Kingston match and kind of, feeding off what's been on social media and what most, I don't want to say most, but a lot of wrestling fans know the history with Kingston and Cesaro. And so that's what would make the most sense logically, but I think it would tick off a lot of fans.
Not to mention AEW's roster, even with the signing of ROH and, whatever they're going to do there, their roster is oversaturated at the moment. It has way too many people there.
Yeah.
Cesaro is not the person that should get hot-shotted to a main title just because he never got it in WWE. Cesaro would actually be one of my picks to go to ROH and be one of their big names on ROH. He's from ROH. He's got a history there. Let him go there and be the main. He could be the first main champion of ROH with the new rebranding. You know, if Jonathan Gresham's not really interested in doing it, have Cesaro versus Jonathan Gresham. Have Cesaro beat him, and let Cesaro be the big champion for ROH for a while.
Yeah,
I'm good with all that. I don't think he needs to be anywhere near the AEW world title picture right now. There's too many other names that deserve it. Too many other names who have waited their turn. Too many other names who have gone through the gauntlet in AEW enough to be ready for that. So the only spot I see him debuting outside of his own segment like Jay Lethal, which would be extremely underwhelming, would be the Kingston Jericho match again, which is why I could say Kingston wins while he's celebrating. Then Cesaro's music hits. He comes out. They have like a face-to-face. Cesaro says, "I'll see you Wednesday," or whatever, you know, and they fight Wednesday night.
Yeah. Okay. A couple other notes, and then we'll get to our announcements. Just a couple quick rapid-fire stories that I pulled up kind of while we were talking. So as of right now, we addressed this a little bit earlier. The Supercard of Honor event is actually completely up in the air, is the quote I'm reading after the Ring of Honor purchase. So essentially, that means they're still having it, but it's a matter of
who's on it,
who's going to be on it. What matches are we going to see?
Because they've already announced matches.
Well, even those that have been announced,
right,
from what I'm seeing, is it's going to be up in the air. So we'll see what happens there. Let's see, and I'm just kind of doing these rapid fire because I know we're short on time. Apparently, WWE is looking for a reason to sue AEW for contract tampering as it relates to the Jeff Hardy situation.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's the quote I'm reading is that they need to tread lightly when it comes to anything Jeff Hardy related on AEW programming, any kind of AEW posts on social media. So they're.
I mean, if you think about it, whatever Hardy did the night that he walked out, he says he did it just because he was fed up or whatever. They did the whole drug test thing because he kind of sold it like he was. I'm not gonna lie, like. It looked that way. And then, there's all this beef and stuff. But to announce out loud, I'm going to AEW and I'm super excited and a little nervous about it. Like, I'm curious if that has anything to do with non-competes, because I don't think you can say where you're going or what you're doing.
Could be. It also has to do with the fact that, if you watch our 12-hour stream, we had Matt Hardy on with us. Super fun discussion. We're proud supporter of their House Hardy Twitch channel as well. He has indicated a couple of different times on his videos that very heavily mentioning Jeff and kind of teasing that. So,
well, there's already promotion out there of matches that they're going to have against this team or that team starting March 12th. Matt Hardy told us that starting March 12th, they're starting to tour and they're going to be fighting different tag teams and stuff and doing Big Town Wrestling or something.
Big time wrestling, yeah.
Big time wrestling and doing stuff with them. So I'm curious if there's things that they can get him on by wording, promotional, even if he's not going to be wrestling by then. He's not wrestling during his non-compete. I don't even know if you can announce anything. There are people that we've talked to, y'all, about coming on the show and things, and they said, I want to do it, but we can't really have this discussion until after my non-compete is up. And we'll announce more of those people as the time comes because they are very interested in coming on and all that, but they can't really do any talks with us until their non-compete is up.
Which is a great segue into our announcements that we're going to give here shortly. One other announcement. This is, kind of breaking news depending on who you are, but spoiler alert. So if you don't want to hear this, it pertains to NXT UK. So if you are a viewer of NXT UK, you might want to turn us off for 2 minutes or mute us or something. NXT 2.0 talent will be making their NXT UK debut, and it's a familiar person. Roderick Strong is wrestling for NXT UK.
Like a one-off, or he's going to be over there for a program for a while?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
It just says he
versus Dragunov or whatever his name is. Dragunov.
Let's see.
That's going to be a killer match if that's who he's going to be feuding with.
It doesn't say who he wrestled. Let's see. Nothing here indicating, at least what I'm reading, who he wrestled.
Yo, that would be an insane match to watch if it's him in that. I think it's Dragunov. Is that his last?
Ilya Dragunov? Yeah.
Dragunov.
Yeah. All right, guys. Those of you that have hung out and been patient, we sincerely appreciate it. As promised, we got some cool announcements relating to some activities we have in the month of March. So what I'm going to do is, these aren't going to be in date order necessarily, but I'll just kind of throw them at you one by one. So you guys asked for it. We wanted it, and it's going to happen. Friend of the show, Kylie Ray, will be coming back on with us live Thursday, March 24th, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. We're going to chat it up with her. She's going to be involved in some way, shape, or form as it relates to our draft board. Specifically, that day we're going to draft our female wrestlers. So that's going to be a ton of fun. Those of you that were on the stream with us, our 12-hour stream, know that that discussion was a ton of fun, and just the promotional ideas were flowing. I mean, we gotta get a Smile Gang shirt going.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. We're gonna figure some stuff out.
Hashtag Smile Gang. We're gonna start to see him at Kylie's show. It's gonna blow up. I just know it. It's $1 million idea, honestly.
But speaking of shows, we plugged this already. We are going to be doing our next offsite at the South Broadway Athletic Club for Glory Pro Wrestling once again, Sunday, March 20th. But we have a special announcement as it relates to someone that'll be joining us during that stream. Again, it's Sunday. For sure, booked and everything. So, Sunday, March 20th. This is all but confirmed. None other than Colt Cabana will be sitting down with us at the show. We plan on going live at 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Central. Again, the South Broadway Athletic Club, the site of Glory Pro Wrestling. Cole and I will be there. Colt Cabana will be sitting down with us for who knows how long. I mean, it could be 15, 20 minutes, could be an hour. Really depends on how much time he's got, but I've communicated with him. He's agreed to come and chat it up with us for a while we're live on what's the word I'm looking for here? While we're live.
And we believe we got a lot of our kinks from our first time ever doing it worked out. So hopefully it'll be a little bit of a better viewing experience for y'all as well.
Yeah, technical glitches hopefully will be resolved by then, if they haven't been already. I know we have a couple more to address, but we'll get those taken care of. But again, AW's own Colt Cabana will be with us at the site of Glory Pro Wrestling, South Broadway Athletic Club, Sunday, March 20th, 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Central. And guys, last but not least, we have one more very, 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 very special announcement.
It's almost as big as last night's.
You could say that. You did say that.
I did.
Okay. Stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Who can stop the path of Cage?
That's right, guys. Brian Cage will be joining us, and that's going to be a very interesting conversation. Now, there was a special date on that, Tuesday, March 15th, and my apologies, I wasn't paying attention to the time. Were you? I want to say it was like 11:30 or something. We had to we had to accommodate Brian's schedule, and he's on the West Coast. So let me go to something here. Because unfortunately, I can't play just the graphic at the end, and I don't want to play the whole video again. All right, so it is Tuesday, March 15th, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, so Tuesday, March 15th, it'll be 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Central, and we'll get a single graphic for that as well. We'll post that on our social media pages. A lot of interesting conversation to be had as long as Mr. Cage will allow it, because we've said this before, anytime we have guests on, we don't want to stir up drama or anything like that. So any questions, topics, we throw out to our guests ahead of time, and we say, hey, are you cool with this? If not, we're happy to scrap anything. If you're uncomfortable with it, we're not digging up dirt. However, he seemed to indicate to me that we should be good with any topics. So we're going to come up with actual list of items, kind of like an outline, and just to make sure he formally approves. But as of now, he said that we're good on just about anything.
Y'all, I'm super excited about this one. I loved Lucha Underground, so I'm excited to kind of unpack Lucha Underground with him and talk about some of the stuff that happened with Lucha. I've always been an Impact guy, so I'm excited to talk about his time in Impact, his time doing some of the indie stuff, his AEW run, potentially. Was there ever any WWE conversations, things like that, just because of his build and his look? I mean, he's exactly what Vince McMahon would want. And talk about what he's doing currently and the new contract option pickup that happened with him just recently, and some of his thoughts and plans for that kind of stuff. So a lot to unpack with him. I think it's going to be a really great time. So please make plans. It's outside of our regular scheduled podcast, so make plans to be with us that Tuesday, March 15th.
So real quick, guys, I want to make sure I've given you the correct schedule of things. So next week, Thursday, March 10th, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, Nick Aldis will be joining us. 5 days later, Brian Cage sits down with us at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Central, Tuesday, March 15th. So that week, there will be a Tuesday podcast. There will not be a Thursday podcast that week. So again, next week, Thursday, the following week will be on Tuesday. The week after that, we'll have Kylie Ray with us on the 24th. So literally 3 straight weeks worth of guests. And then once we're finished with our guests, we'll tackle the next round or so of our draft. One of those weeks we might tackle 2 of them.
We'll be done the week of Kylie.
Yeah, we'll save our feet.
We'll do backstage and big pay-per-view together.
Yeah. So and then I think just for fun, we'll probably have Kylie pick a winner that week. And then you guys will pick a winner as well.
Well, we'll give it a couple weeks because we got to come up with our brand board or our pay-per-view and all that stuff. But she'll let us know who's kind of got the lead, maybe.
Yeah. And then I also want to add this, the final week of March, and I'm actually just telling you this for the first time as well because I just forgot to before we went live. The last week of March, so the 28th of March through April the 1st, we will not have a show that week. I will actually be on vacation with the fam. So we're going to take that week off and give you guys a break too, because 3 straight weeks worth of guests. It's going to be a lot of discussion, a lot of draft activity, and it's just going to be an exciting month of March. So, wow, we went pretty long on time. So it's not about that time. It is that time. Cole, any final thoughts?
Guys, as always, thank you for watching the greatest wrestling podcast ever. We sincerely appreciate it. Don't forget to go get your Going Broadway Podcast merch. It is comfortable, it is cozy, and you absolutely have to have it. So make sure you go check out our website, get all of that stuff. Make sure you join us for Nick Aldis, Brian Cage, Kylie Ray. We got a lot going on this month, so stay tuned for all of those things, and make sure you're up to date with us and all those things. But guys, we love doing this. Thank you for joining us, sticking around with us. But I leave you with your favorite thing in the entire world.
Thanks, guys. We will see you next week. with Nick Aldis.
This podcast was a presentation of LightUpMedia.fm.